Hey guys, what's up? So, many of you may know what I do, okay? But many of you probably don't know how I got into it. I'm in network marketing and forex trading. So, I just want to share a little bit of my story with you guys today. Um, I heard about forex the first time, I would say in 2016. Um, I heard about it, I looked a little bit into, and I was very close-minded back then. I shut it down right away because I was like, I would never get this. This is way too complicated. Um, Looking at a chart, it looked like a foreign language to me, like a heart rate monitor. Um, so I'm like, yeah, no, that's not for me. I cannot do this, So fast forward about a year later, my mindset started to change. I was, got a bit more open minded. And I just got to a point in my life where, like, okay, I cannot continue like this. Like, something has to change. And I came across this audio series called Your Wish is Your Command. And one of the quotes in there that stuck with me, I actually have it on my wall, says, if you want things in your life to change, you have to change things in your life. You know, and I realized I had to do something different. I've been working two jobs as long as I can remember. I have a regular full-time office job and a part-time waitress. I've been waitressing for about 17 years now. And I'm getting told for that. My body hurts, everything hurts, like I'm done, right? So, and I was still, like, even working two jobs, I was still living paycheck to paycheck, struggling at the end of the month. No, at the end of the money, I still had a lot of months left. I think a lot of us know how that is. And I was just tired of that. And I knew if I continue like this, I would keep being in the same cycle. There was not really progress. And I wanted so much more out of life. I want to travel the world. I want to do photography. That's my passion. Most of my close friends live in the States, and sometimes it takes like 2-3 years to see them. And what I was doing then, like, I knew that situation is not going to change. So, a fun fact, I was in New York in 2017. I was in New York for a week, and then I was supposed to go to Miami for a week. But then, what I was saying, Hurricane Irma happened, right? Hurricane Irma happened, and I had to cancel everything. I had to, like, my Miami trip, I had to cancel it. So my first week in New York was very, very stressful because I was on the phone the whole time. Luckily, I was able to cancel everything. But I was frustrated, of course, because it would have been my first time going to Miami. It would have been the time finally having my childhood dream coming true of swimming with dolphins. So all of that was canceled. So you can imagine how upset I was. And it's crazy because one thing I know now is that in moments like this where we're so frustrated, we're not able to see the positive in it. Now that I look back, I know everything happens for a reason, because what ended up happening is I stayed in New York a second week, and my friend Eric hit me up, the same guy that we've been friends for 7 years, and he was the one that, showed Forex to me a year before. He'd been doing it. Like, I saw how his life had changed. He went from working 7 days a week in a hospital to now being a full-time trader, traveling the world, basically living the life that I wanted, but my mindset just had to catch up to that. So he hit me up. He was like, yo, Steph, we have an event going on in New York. I remember it was a Tuesday in that second week I was in New York. He was like, come. And I was hesitant because it was a nice day. I wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to do some photography. And that event was like near LaGuardia Airport. Those that, from New York or been, they know it's like far out. So I had to take a bus to get there. So I was hesitant. I was like, do I really want to go? But I was like, what do I have to lose? I'm going to just go. So I drove out there, and it was basically a presentation, like an event with a presentation of the company that he was part of. And now that I know, like, the guy that was speaking there, I didn't know him back then, Alex Morton. He is one of the top people in network marketing. And he was there speaking. He was doing a presentation. I remember I was sitting in the back of the room. Sorry, I'm a little sick. I remember I was sitting in the back of the room, and Eric texted me. He was like, come to the front. Like, you have to sit in the front. So I went to the first row. I sit there, and Alex Morton said one thing that changed a lot for me. Remember how I said before, my mindset was like, I will never get this. This is way too complicated. And I know a lot of people think like that. So he says something that changed a lot for me. He was like, when you start a new job, do you know everything from the beginning? Of course not. And I was sitting there like just my jaw dropped and just blown away. I was like, wow, why did I never think like that? Like, it sounds so simple, but yet I've never thought of it like that. So of course, trading, Forex, it all seemed complicated to me because I've never done it, right? I've never done it. It's the same thing that I know now. Like, I know now that the same thing with, learning a language. Like, you have to sit down and learn it first, to understand it. So I made a decision right there. Okay, I will give this a try. I don't know where it's going to take me. I don't know if I can do this, but the only way for me to find out is to try. So I took the leap of faith because the urge for me to change something was bigger than the fear of the unknown. So I jumped into it, and I think like a week or two in it, like going through the education that was provided of the platform that I joined. I will talk about that on another video more. I was provided with education on Forex, with the basics, what is Forex and everything. And I think after a week or two, the first couple things started to make sense. And it was an amazing feeling. I was so hyped. I was basically proving to myself, I can do this. I was proving myself wrong after thinking I cannot do this. But yet here I am starting to understand things. It's like, I can do this, which was a great feeling. And I stuck with it. I have my ups and downs, but I've grown a lot. I've learned a lot. I'm not yet where I want to be. I'm not rich yet. I still work my 9 to 5. I don't work as a waitress anymore, which is great. I'm happy about that. It takes a lot of weight off my shoulders, literally. But I'm working my way towards my goals, to have financial independency, to, not worry anymore. And I know, it takes time. It's not happening overnight. The same thing, learning a language. You don't learn a language overnight. So it takes time, but I'd rather invest my time into this, learning the skill set. But no, eventually I can live life on my terms. What I always say is my goal is to move as I please, not as I'm told. That's my goal. And even if it's going to take some time, but eventually it's still less time than just continue what I was doing and working 40 plus years for someone else. Okay, so that's just a little about me, so you know how I got involved with it. I will come on here more often and share, thoughts with you guys, give you a bit more input, and yeah, see you guys soon. Bye.